for South America. And this is the map where they looked so good against DRX, running the triple initiator comp that they're going to stick to here again. And I think I need to see another monster game from Takolia. He was quiet, he got shut down in map 1. But now that he's got the space, and in theory Leviatan have the utility advantage, Leviatan need Taco to come online.
The stage should be set for it, right round the corner. Not only the frenzy, but still, King's able to make it work right across into heaven on top of it. Look at that dart, and it spots out the positioning of Cryo. It's immaculate. VCT, an instant response from him to try and take control of A main away from them, but that's also been shut down, ready and waiting.
Excellent stuff. Really cool pathing on the pistol round. Trying desperately to find the head. Yeah, that is a ghost moment. Awesome pathing though. They go for a cat push. They go all the way up through heaven, and King swings around on top.
And it's kicked the fragment out of the way as well, I think, ever so slightly.
It's the aggression from Leviatan and the confidence that works so well for them with this triple initiator comp. You know, there are teams that play this same composition that cannot get things going on their attack half at all. Very good teams that can't make the attack half work. I'm thinking Optic in particular here. But with Leviatan, it seems like they've got confidence, they've got a good idea of what they want to do in the rounds, and there's a lot of set cascading utility.
Aggression being shown just through main, but yeah, the comfort levels on this composition, Leviatan definitely have a good grasp and idea of how they want to play this one. And look at that, Takolia is just trying to bait out, see if there's any aggression towards B main. He already knows that there was a player lurking around there because his trademark was broken. He backs away, and this is just Leviatan trying to minimize their risks, trying to minimize giving away any guns.
We saw XSET win round 2 and break the bank, break the momentum for Leviatan early on. But that was when they were on the attack half, able to group up. And this time it looks like they're going for a bit of a gamble stack over towards A, which is not going to be the correct read. Despite Leviatan's comeback on map 1, the defensive side calling did look excellent. But sometimes when you take the gambles, it's just not going to work. Sure, the turret finds them, but there is no way that XSET are going to be able to respond to any of this. No chance. And just look for a moment at the amount of utility these site anchors potentially are going to have to deal with.
Yep.
All of that came in there. A horn, a recon dart, a flash back into the site, a prowler into the site.
A dart if it's online.
It's just
it's too much to deal with.
Adversar was droning in too. Yeah, the triple initiator comp has so many tools to make it incredibly difficult. And the side anchors for XSET are going to be Aaron and BCJ. They're going to get tested.
You have to find ways to wiggle your way around all the utility, maybe just by making sure that they use it early enough that they can't go for those wholesale executes. This is just an attempt by XSET, see if they can grab a couple of these exits.
They might start to believe here. Unfortunately, there's nobody that can really get into the site. The time is ticking.
Time is ticking. Yeah. So, yeah, not much else for Zeka to do other than just to go down to the spike. But Leviatan getting off to a fantastic start. Josh, we mentioned it. We spoke about the map picks. The way that this has ended up shaken out between both of these teams. They do float each other's maps that they prefer to play, like to play. XSET have been floating Ascent. It ends up being played a lot by Leviatan. This is a map pool that, honestly, if you're just looking at the strength of it from either side, we should be going to a map number 3.
Yeah, and you're getting the best from both teams as well, which is truly not always the case with these map vetoes. But Leviatan have a long way to go to push it to Haven. Coming into this bonus, doesn't look like they're going for any major early round aggression. Only 3 Spectres as well. It's not the greatest, but Takolia's got the Headhunter, and he just loves using that weapon. You'll sometimes see him using the Headhunter over the main weapon that he has available. Yeah. He has the 3rd most kills per round with the Headhunter out of everybody in the tournament.
That's astonishing. Really leaning into this one. Leviatan ended up just using, I think, both of their shock darts early on in this round, straight down mid, but they still didn't find the alarm bot. In fact, turrets pull back as well, so Aaron's going to be able to keep that one. Facing the side, just about jutting out. Utility has to be used to try and push them back, and Cryo, well, he's opened it up. Oh, finds 2 picks, still going to get ran down at the end. Shy does find the target that he was looking for. Market control going to be gained, but the amount of damage that these players are taking, it's looking like quite a mountainous task ahead of them.
Yeah, very good crossfires from XSET. Could Taco be dangerous? Not quite. This one looks fairly clean. Well dealt with by XSET. They're stopping the players from getting into the site before they can even take the first step.
Sure.
Spamming from the CT smoke alongside Aaron spamming from lane. And even though Cryo eventually went down in market, take a look at these kills he was able to get on the B split. Finding Adverso peeking before the utility, and that's the big problem there. They're using the Haunt and the Prowler, but they're swinging beforehand. And that's where your Jet is going to find the timings. Trying to get in front of the utility instead of running away from it. Which is why sometimes duelists can be the answer against heavy utility comps.
Just taking the fights, taking the timings against them. A lot offloaded. Prowler and a shock dart just through A main, making sure they can grab that orb. And King, he's got his no command online off of it.
It's a major tool, especially when you're considering.
No. Okay, just behind the wall.
And it looks like XSET might want to go for some catwalk aggression here, trying to bail Cryo out of an uncomfortable position. Def's starting to make his way towards there, but instead putting up a one-way, just happy with what they've got so far. I'm wondering what Aaron would do if a null command came flying at him over on the B site. Because he doesn't have any tools to be able to deal with it. Instead, though, it's Cryo finding a pick over towards Tiles. He's just been there for a minute.
God, I mean, I feel for the observers. We were on his camp for so long. We were just watching him, ready and waiting. Unfortunate timing on that one. Still, these players are dropping one after the other.
Yeah, it's rough. Leviatan expected there to be multiple players fighting in mid because Cryo was so late round contesting it. And instead, there are players still ready for that A lurk. Adverso gets nothing done.
20 seconds left at this point. What is the play? What do you do?
You save. I mean, this is an economically crushing round if Leviathan lose it. So you need to keep these guns online. Def,
in a percentage play.
Def can go for this.
Yeah. They have...
I mean, Def has no money, but the rest of his team...
Sizable money on, yeah, with the rest of his team. They could buy him. So these guns, Leviathan, they've got to hold on to this one. Every advantage they can get. It's just being jiggled perfect in terms of the way that Def was clearing that. And he backs away. Not too greedy.
Yeah, really nicely played. And Leviathan were caught slipping there. They didn't expect Cryo, with 50 seconds on the clock, to still be tough in the middle of B.
Of course not.
And then there's a reactive push from Adverso, who's thinking A must be weak because there are people in mid. But that's not the case. It was just Cryo on his own. And these are moments where Cryo should be getting caught by utility, but he's managing to dodge it and evade it. And that's 2 rounds back-to-back now, where Cryo's been the difference maker, weaving past the utility and taking aggressive fights.
Think about what these aggressive mid plays do. As we're on the half bite for Leviathan, obviously plenty of opportunities for them to potentially make something of it, especially that Taco Leah gets that Tour de Force online off the back of that Olor. But when you have Cryo making these aggressive plays, you're forcing this triple initiator comp to use the utility to potentially clear him out of those angles. You're not going to have it for those big hits.
Yeah, that's a great point. The more that Leviathan feel they have to use their utility early, the weaker the side hits get, and that helps BCJ and Aaron.
This time, though, respect being shown. Right around the side, Def just tries to get info, jiggling it, and Taco Leah, he capitalizes.
Can't be affording those first deaths. Brutal for Def in their game against Optic.
Yeah, no command. Offloaded now, just trying to work their way through the fragment. Close quarters. Melzer on the high ground. That's Cryo dealt with. They have found an advantage and they have grasped it. Spike going to be going on a bit of a tip-tap when it comes to the play. Still, they've lost Adverso and damage is being done. This is getting a little bit dangerous now for Leviathan.
Second almost with another as well. And these angles that he's spamming, you can tell he's very comfortable on Sova, but they don't have big tools to retake here. No drone, no paranoia.
No way.
But Second just keeps finding wallbang kills.
I mean, this is just raw instinct. Spamming the common angles and finding the players. He's brought it to the 3v3, but time now starting to tick. It's up for the Leviathan players to come up with something huge. Taco Leah, what is that? Collateral, the spacing not there. A bit of spam, a 1-2 tap. Second almost salvaging it, but eventually they find it.
What an absurd round from Taco and Zekken. How Zekken was able to make that one close, I will never know. But the man's got a hidden instinct for where players are going to be on the other side of things. But it's Taco that's the star, and it's Taco that had to step up. These kills are absurd, but look at the collapse.
Oh wow.
VCT and Aaron just pushing through, and Taco's on an off angle. Taco was the star player for DRX. Oh, sorry, against DRX when they played Ascent. And he's got to do it again to keep them alive in the tournament.
Has to put up the kills, has to put up the numbers. They need him to.
Otherwise, they're going all the way back through LCQ as well. This game means even more to them than just life at Copenhagen.
But offloader utility early on, drone now being used. So we approach that minute mark in the round. Cryo has found himself an operator, so that's going to be locking down the mid approach. Melzer, you tagged up there, a bit risky.
See, these are the moments in the round at about a minute where Def, as a player with an IGL brain, really wants to go and grab more information. Zekken, with the drone, goes over and spots out B main. Cryo's in quite a passive position with the operator, rather than hunting for that info on the push himself.
That's quite far back.
But I like this. Instead of going for the jiggle peek and trying to find information with your eyes where you might end up dying, they're using the tools available to them, the drone, the knife, the operator locking up angles.
Weird approach now. Prowler comes through, Cosmic Divide split across, it baits out the no command, but the spike is in a completely different place.
This is not an A split.
And now there needs to be a bit of pace, I think, injected into it. Leviatan wheeling their way through. They haven't actually found any space just yet. It's still Aaron and Zekken holding it down. The off angle, the approach, Aaron sprays it down. And two heads are found. Nightfall scattered through. Zekken's, just deafened, can't hear a thing. And they have come out with miracles, but it's still not enough. No time to get the plant down. XSET gonna be carrying away this round, and all BCJ has to do is stay alive for the Red Bull clutch.
What a major round for XSET to come away with, and all they had to do was take the timeout. Leviatan there playing with the triple initiator comp, trying to bait players into making mistakes. And when the time ran low, it was an interesting fake. But they just didn't have what it took to get through onto the site. Major play by Aaron. And I'm surprised that the reaction was that mellow, honestly, from Psycho.
He's chilling, isn't he?
Yeah. But this is a very tense game, and Leviatan had opportunities there to maybe steal the round away. I think, though, you're seeing a key adaptation. You want to have Cryo be the player that face checks in these rounds and fights for duels. The rest of the team for XSET gathering info with their utility.
The Night Castle and the drone, the fight being taken by King. He's rewarded. Gets the pick off. Haunt strength down mid once more.
What a timing that King caught on Catwalk.
Yeah.
Before the one-way was even active, BCJ just had his smoke in his hands.
I'm going to say a couple of times now I've noticed as well, Leviatan have been sending that shot card down, but this is a re-clear. Flash, anti-flash position paid by King. It doesn't even matter. Is there going to be a punish? Hunter's Fury sent flying. Somehow Def gets that kill onto Shy through the fragment naders on top of it.
Yeah. Even though Def does get punished in the end, that re-clear on Catwalk was beautiful.
It's down to it once more. The Hunter's Fury dodging, juking, sidestepping. 3 shots rattled off, fired away. Nothing being found.
And that's also Zekken using the ultimate before Leviatan get to the plant. With time pressure, he could have used that ultimate to make Cryo's job a lot easier. Instead, he'll be asked to find an entry and stay alive.
The responsibility of trying to shut this one down, but it's a slow, cautious approach by Leviatan, not wasting any time with this. Now the tempo has been turned up. The spike dropped to the floor. They just have to clear him out. But this is Cryo you're dealing with in playoff form.
And he's such a beast. He's so consistent with it. The way that he takes these fights, he didn't have the correct crosshair placement necessarily. Wasn't expecting those players to be in so deep. And yet he adjusts very quickly. And even when he got jumped on in the end, he was fine. How on earth did the fragment grenade find this kill? I mean, Shy was just weak, I guess.
Yeah, just the first burst of it, I suppose.
Yeah, they clipped it. That readjustment onto Melzer is gorgeous. People enjoy their Spanish trash talk.
Of course. Beautiful language. It's very emotive. Leviatan on the half fight here. An opening would be sublime, but it's just being covered. Every avenue, every approach, weapon picked up. Dodging, juking a BCJ. Oh, he slightly dodges it. He slightly misses the mark there. Drops the door down, so he actually has given an opportunity for Takolia to get into this one. Spam through into the wall. Takolia could have made something off of it.
But not quite. And Leviatan have not been having too much success on these eco rounds. They tend to just spill out into a site. And it was a little too easy there for BCJ to deal with. It is a great spray transfer, though, onto Shy. Overall, I'm still missing that level of aggression and the coordination from Leviatan. They're getting pulled to pieces here on Ascent. And we've already seen them take down an awesomely good team at this tournament on Ascent. DRX hadn't lost it in 18 maps in a row until Leviatan won. We know they're capable.
What an interesting play. One-way setup, flash over the top, BCJ teleports, and there's a recon dust, so he tries to spam them through his own smoke.
Yeah, it's a crazy good one. They pulled it out in the grand finals against Optic as well. Great set play. Doesn't quite catch a kill this time, though.
Yeah, Leviatan are able to weather it. We saw on Split, all they need is one big pop-off moment, one big round to get the confidence back. Get themselves back in that driving seat.
And Leviatan are really struggling with Catwalk here. They need to get through a one-way. There's Def looking to potentially re-clear as well, who also has a fragment grenade to stop it. I'd love to see Leviatan go for a proper A split, but they never have Cat and A main control at the same time. They just can't find the timings to get past Def and BCJ. On the other side of things, Takolia's walking back potentially into Cryo's op angle, which doesn't look pretty.
Knife gets used for mid-round information. Approaching at 30 seconds. Now holding it down, you're starting to see a bit of a play being made. The jiggle just debates it out. The alarm bot's still active though, and now that gives the timing. They know this is a B split coming through. Nana Swarm stops them from just walking their way into the site for free. More time just being bullied and burnt away off the clock, but the player's still barreling through. Leviatan, can they find the options? Can they find the openings? It's a 2v2 with time dropping down. 7 seconds remaining. Spike in the process of being planted. A bit of a spam. The angle. Takolia was just waiting, hidden around the corner. All down to BCJ, but Leviatan, they're primed and ready. And they take down BCJ and they claim the round.
That's such an important one for Leviatan to get themselves back into contention here. Got to question what Cryo's doing at the backside, taking that shot and opening himself up to anyone else that's around. Cryo had knives online. If he stays alive in backside there and just waits for BCJ, he's got a fantastic position. Just pinching him. But okay.
Leviatan, they grasp it. The opportunity was presented to them. That's what it's about.
And they took control. And these B splits do look really good. The utility usage is excellent from Leviatan. We saw it on one of the rounds where there was nobody anchoring, but that was difficult for Arin to stay up and get anything done. And now King, null command online, makes this round very dangerous. Tons of spam there actually, as Arin was trying to punish him for picking up the orb. Barely does it. Barely grazes him with a bullet though.
Drone down, Cryo's been pushed up into it. Smells going to be able to punish it. The knife dodges to the side. Shocktar not going deep enough again to remove the alarm bot. Slowed it down now.
And is this one of the rounds where Leviatan are going to be able to use the null command and get into a post-plant situation with time on the clock? Time has been a big problem for them so far, but there is still 50 seconds left. As long as they can stop Cryo from picking off players.
You are divided.
He could go double updraft. They've Cosmic divided him off.
Yeah. Even a nightfall being used in the pull into the back of the site. No players really waiting in that position. They are running for a double updraft right from the top. Not finding any mark, and the null command is going to be coming out as that second layer of the Leviatan attack.
How do they deal with a lockdown retake? That's my question. Is Leviatan going to try and get aggressive here and burst their way into tree? The door opening.
Yeah, opened up now, but still the kills. House is flooding in for XSET. How are they finding the advantage? With the lockdown now placed, the time pressure is on. Spam through the smoke, a flash around the corner. The players, the positioning, it's just immaculate. A flawless approach on the retake by XSET.
So well done there Leviatan didn't have an answer for the second question posed in the round. Sure, they got into the post plant with an ult command, but how do you respond to that? I think there was a player ready to reflank through catwalk, but XSET ultra diligent picked them off. For the Prime Gaming Flawless, you can just see the X there at the top mid position.
Yeah. And this is a different looking XSET compared to what we saw from them. Their match against Optic.
Let's go! Nice and calm, baby. Get it going.
You can feel it.
I did not hear a single moment like that from them when they were playing against Optic.
No.
Maybe there were a few half-hearted cheers, but not that level of confidence and almost a feel like you're in control of the game.
Sure.
We've seen Leviatan come back in maps, and we've seen them win on this one too. Their defense side looked really good at stopping those jet entry plays.
Still capable of doing so, Josh.
But how many do Leviatan need? Is 4 enough? Should they be, I mean, obviously they're going to be aiming for 6, but do they need 5, 6 rounds to get back into this? Maybe 4 an attack is enough to work with if they can grab the pistol too.
That's possible. Timeout's going to be used to try and find some change-up and adjustment to it. They've really been struggling, I think, to just deal that pressure into mid constantly. It's like a shark dart that gets offloaded, but they never really been able to find this alarm bot. This time it's a little bit deeper from XSET on a defensive setup, so...
Yeah. Normally I'm a big fan of going down mid, breaking the alarm bot, playing the slow defaults, etc., etc., create some pressure in that area. But I'd just like to see Leviatan rip it on an A-split at some point and really put the squeeze on Def and VCJ. Def, in fact, not over there at the moment. And this is, of course, an eco round from Leviatan due to all the damage that's been done to them previously.
Takalea is always going to have that tour de force. Feels like he does save it for these rounds where the economy is just not that good for them.
Yeah.
So he's always got that threat in their back pocket that they can rely on, and this angle that he's watching. So narrow. No player is really going to be watching for that information. Maybe you might see a jump peek from the back of the fountain, back of the well.
Yeah. Taco, the only player that went positive in the series overall against DRX. But we haven't seen those awesome moments from him. Almost since kind of that last time he played Ascent. Really overachieving in his debut map. And has been shut down since then.
Now the utility just starts to collapse onto Cryo, who's holding down that angle, including BCJ, who was just trying to anchor. Forced the TP back, and mid-control has been gained. Takalea locking down the angle. There we go. The kill goes his way, but suppressed means doesn't have the ult taken away from him with 30 seconds left. Time now starting to run low.
But this is where the Leviatan utility looks at its peak.
Have to take care of these players, though. Still swinging through. Aaron should not be allowed to survive, but he's claimed 2 kills. And a backup from the rest of his team, well, it comes through in the end.
And XSET able to hold on. Can Leviatan put 1 more on the board here? 5 rounds on Ascent attack would be quite reasonable. A decent half from them. They just didn't have the tools to be able to work with. Takalea flooding out through market, trying to make space for the rest of his team with only a headhunter, and the Shades have come back.
Yeah, okay. Don's got the aviators out. He's feeling confident, more so than before, I guess.
And I think there's good reason to be confident as a set repper right now. But they still need this last one, I think. An 8-4 half, you're feeling really good on Ascent defense, but 7-5, and we've seen what Leviatan can do. This time, working their way down mid quickly. Alarm bot will be broken here as King walks into it.
Yeah, Paranoido cutting across off of it. Means they have to respect it. Just a bit of a play that was triggered off of it.
And despite Def using his 0 point to cancel the drone, it still saw Cryo. The drone still saw him. So Dash burnt in this round. They can maybe be a bit more confident now that Cryo won't go for those aggressive re-pushes or an aggressive peek as they hit a site. But they're still not in position to go for an A-split.
No.
It looks more like the spike is going to go back over towards B.
Yeah, they want to end there, it seems like, with 2 players just holding back down mid. The B splits. They've been looking better, I think, for Leviatan.
Yeah, they've
so
been
far
looking
on his
fairly
attack
good.
side, so
Ahead.
this could be the option they're looking for. And honestly, good timing for them.
Yeah, straight after this recon dart would absolutely be the best timing. Adverso is a long way away with the spike, presumably playing off his Sova ult.
Yep,
here it
we
comes.
go. Popped off there. Zekken just trying to dodge Duke. Sidestep it. Right into it. Finds Zekken. The timing. 2 tags, but the timing right from behind. Def. Well, he's caught it. It's a beautiful one at that. 2 kills found. The players still not finding their mark, still not finding their way into this. The spike is just stuck. And Melza, though, the big wraparound, he's caught it. Into market, Cryer from the back, still only 10 seconds, and it's their biggest enemy, Josh. Time is their biggest enemy over and over again. No opportunity to stick the plant, and the 8th round is claimed for XSET at the end.
And overall, I've got to say, that's a pretty disappointing half from Leviatan, I think. 4 rounds might be doable for them, but the way in which they lose that, Def just running behind them from Cat, slipping past Melza. I think Shine King thought that was Melza behind them.
That's absurd.
And the spike was so late to get into the site because Adverso had it in tiles. And facepalm is the right emotion to be showing there, I think.
It's an emotion, is it? It's a first for me, Josh. It's a first for me. Still, that is going to do it for the first half. We're going to send it down to our analysts to break down all the action and set us up for the second half of Ascent.
Brent, I've seen you facepalm like 8 times a day, so I'm surprised that he doesn't recognize that as an emotion. But for the side of XSET, I think at one point things were really, really close. It was back and forth, but 8-4 half, which is a pretty good score for them considering they're one up even already.
Yeah, it was really good out of XSET. We expect big things from their defensive side here on Ascent, and I think just what was good about Split on their defense continued on through. The calling from Aaron here again was really impeccable, and on top of that, I think they were doing a pretty solid job of shutting down the players they needed to. Taco wasn't really getting as much traction as he was in that game against DRX, and well, a big part of that was Cryo. He didn't have the craziest of games because he didn't need to, because his team was always set up in the right positions, and the side anchoring just impeccable at XSET.
No, we just saw the comparison up there, and I think Cryo having that little bit more freedom, like I said, in some of these duels, is sure the escapism isn't as ridiculous as it could be on a chamber in some of these duels, but when he's sticking around, he's still coming up with massive value. That said, after a slow start, I feel like we're starting to see some of those tackle rounds come through. Just, is it enough is the question, and so far in that half, I don't think it was. That said, the second half is where I expect to see them show up against DRX, up against Crew. It was, what, 11 rounds and 9 rounds against Crew. This is somewhere that you have to say Leviatan are way more comfortable on the defense.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this composition in general just favors defense so heavily. It's impressive, actually, that they're able to get those 4 rounds. We see the cast was talking about a lot of teams do struggle with the attacking side with this composition, but I thought they had some really good ideas. The executes were working really well for them. However, XSET also have a really solid attack side on this map, and like I mentioned before, they've played against this composition. Optic ran this regionally, and they had a rough attack side, went in towards the defense. It's generally good with the composition, and still, XSET managed to overcome that.
And no pistols for XSET so far. I'm fully expecting Leviatan to get this pistol, and if they do, they're right back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, 3 out of 3. It's been ridiculous. The clutches that have brought them back into games, the pistols that have given them that little bit of early foundation. Leviatan have had a fantastic time with those, and to be honest, they kind of need it after that rough first half.
Yeah, they have to win here if they want to stay in this tournament. Bren and Josh, a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Leviatan.
A lot of pressure indeed, and it all comes down to this for Leviatan.
They've played under pressure. They've played under pressure before, and I think that that's what, Batoni will be saying to them here as well. They've overcome a lot of their mental weaknesses in the past. They've choked many times before, and finally look like they've got over that, delivering us some good comebacks. And as the Des said, 3 out of 3 so far in the pistol rounds. They need to go 4 out of 4, though.
Quick wrap around here for XSET now on this one. The utility was sent out early.
Oh, a bit of a counter call, perhaps.
Yes.
They were definitely making the rotate.
Maybe.
I can't think what would have given them the read there to go back over towards A. Maybe just a gut feeling from Def or one of the other players offering up their suggestion.
But no noise being made. Are they just going to swing through? Yeah, no utility being used to clear through this. Facing it with all their players. Stars drop down. Melza wants to try and stop this in its tracks before it gets messy, but the utility is being held by XSET. The burst is going to come through shortly afterwards. Smoke comes down on top of the pull. Looks like Leviatan are ready for it. Can they get the kills? The vulnerability being applied, and now they found it. The Ghost doing significant damage, significant work, but they have to deal with these players up close and personal. Down to Zekken. 1v2, 44 health.
30 seconds
They have
He
no
don't know
idea.
where he is. He closed the door. He timing this one. Just finding it though, but the double swing should be enough, surely. Dodging and juking shy. He's got it in the end.
And Leviatan do in fact take 4 out of 4 of the pistol rounds in this map, in this series, sorry. Which is an astounding stat considering that XSET felt comfortably in control on Split. And are still leading here on Ascent as well. Zekken had an opportunity if he'd just been able to grab one of the kills on the first one. But now for Leviatan, it's about converting on this momentum. They have so many tools to work with on this defense half. You saw it, how much they punished RB trying to get into the sights. You have to dodge a recon dart and a haunt coming through, and there's nades at your feet combined with the gravity wells. And not just that, but Taco and Adverso have been pretty excellent in terms of first kills.
Pistol has set them up beautifully. Tagulia. Good angle being watched. Still disrespecting it as well. Holding his ground, even though he's got the teleport to just evacuate at any point. Still wants to look this. Turret's catching it. Okay, this time respect being shown.
And XSET looks like they're playing extremely passively here. Just ticking the time down, seeing if they can grab anything. But really, when you look at their economy, they barely bought anything coming into this round.
No,
they're not trying to win it. It's not like they have light armor sheriffs.
It's these rounds where they're trying to gather a lot of the information for which to make calls on later. Find where trademarks are being played, the position of certain players. You often see it. It's just information gathered and then a play cooked up on the following round once they get the buy and the weaponry under their belt.
But I don't think this round will have given them anything specific to work on for the future. King could be in a dangerous position, but instead deals with Cryo quite easily. It's all left onto Zekken's shoulders again.
That's what you want to see.
With a little prime game in Flawless. Leviatan very good at the opening halves.
It's brought them right back into it in terms of the scoreline, just about. 2 more rounds, obviously, and they'll be even, but being consistent at these pistol rounds, winning the bonus here would be fantastic for Leviatan. One more way to get them back into it.
Left.
You take a look at their defensive position, Bren, though, and in terms of what XSET will be learning, I think that looks all fairly standard. They had Adverso playing towards mid, they've got the Fade and the Chamber over on B at the beginning of this. Some B-main aggression perhaps here, though, from Leviatan on the bonus round, as they take 3 players and the drone.
All the way through to get a tag onto Aaron. Still, Grenade's going to be stopping that push right in its tracks.
And is there something reactive coming out from Dev, from Cryo?
Calls being made now, but the players have only just got into position, and Melzer can do some serious work right now, some serious damage to pull as he hears the footsteps just backing away for but a moment. The paranoia will be connecting, but Takulia, maybe he can do something. Dashing to the side, Cryo. Oh, it's just instinct once more, finding the shot. The targets are falling rapidly at that.
Taco found one and was able to reposition, but King going in to try and support the swing up through heaven. And it's falling to pieces here for Leviatan. That's the A-split that I was looking for from Leviatan on the attack half. Well executed from XSET. They realize that there's a push coming out of B main, react, and take 3 players over the catwalk, drone out into A main so that they have that control. And yes, even though Zekken died to Taco hiding in wine, they still had Aaron pushing through. And they caused huge amounts of pressure there for Melzer, for King.
That's so hard to deal with.
It's very difficult.
It's every single avenue when the players are just trying to lock it down and hold it down on the site. No way,
man. That's disgusting.
No way.
I mean, Shy's soul leaves his body there. That's just not even allowed a crumb.
Just trying to play for those exits, but
it's a bit of a blow for Leviatan, not being able to do anything on the bonus, not even an economic advantage heading into round 16. They need everything they can get to make this comeback, even though they're great on the defense side.
Yeah, not too many more rounds left in the buffer to try and stop that. I mean, that is absurd. Just committing the spray into that box, making sure they can't get a scrap of it. But now you see the Odin in play. Spam off the rip just in case there's any players just holding that one particular angle.
2 players suppressed at least. They spotted Taco, I believe. And so XSET are now going to look to pivot away. Smoke allows them to cross. And this, honestly, it looks pretty similar. Some early B main aggression, find out that there's aggression happening there with the chamber, and move away, run away from Taco. Go for an A split again.
But this off angle by King could be everything.
Can he keep it up when there's A main aggression? What a flash.
Orthodox angle, yes, but a bit more, I think, in terms of just its expected angle. Melzer, the reposition, and the angle is impeccable. 2 kills just to the side of his own smoke, but he does go down. At the end of the day, the drone straight through the choke point, get a bit of info. See if they can get a tag as well. XSET now left scrambling, scattering.
Still 40 seconds to work with, though. That's the advantage of XSET playing fairly quickly at these early rounds. Recon Dart burnt here from Adverso, just letting him know that there's nobody in B main right now. But I think they could have deduced that anyway. They'd only just heard Zekken taking the ult orb in A.
A deep knife. He's going to force Shy for the rotation.
I think Def's going for a fake here, though.
Yeah, he is. All it took was a knife as well in his presence, and it seems to have just brought 2 players over towards it. Cryo, he's found King. His entire job just to lock down that angle, and with the recon dart against the wall, Takolia, he's got to respect it. Spike, though, has to be planted, moving around, finding the timing of one another. What a shot! Right to the side, flicks it down, and it's down to Zekken. Dropping onto the ground, Shy has got him. And now that the fuse can be stuck, they know that Def is nowhere near.
And Adverso finishes him off with the recon dart too. It was a great pivot, I think, from XSET in the middle of that round, but Leviathan dealt with it thanks to a fantastic play. I mean, Takolia, even with all of the discipline there that XSET showed, using the recon dart, not peeking until the recon dart had its full first pulse, Taco still has the confidence to get into sight, drop, and hits the shot with the headhunter.
This guy performing under pressure.
Overall too, I mean, you didn't see it in the replay, but that's twice now that they found value out of hiding in Y. Melzer doing what he did on Split, winning a huge round to keep them in the series.
Just a slight reposition.
Get out of my way.
Fighting at that kind of team, they're willing to take those risks, and look at this! Bit of a play being made, the recon dart! They're all lit up, have to try and avoid it. The Caesars well did significant damage with the Odin spam, but no kill is going to be claimed.
That's such a cool strat. They ran it against DRX as well, but just the same way, it doesn't actually net them anything. A bit of damage chipped onto BCJ. That's weird. Oh, that was the turret shooting towards bottom mid, in fact, even though it was looking catwalk.
A bit of a weird one, but now a bit of pace once more. Hunter's Fury. It's going to be the knife as well, denying that one, but Zekken, look, he's got that tag, and he's predicted the movement. Shy, he's fallen. A teleport away, what is King going to do? A play has to be made, and he swung with the perfect, most impeccable of timing.
But Cryo Zekken have still delivered for them already. It's up to Adverso, making a play again. Does he anticipate?
He doesn't want to spam! He was handed a free kill there, he could have spammed through the box, but he didn't want to do it.
Zekken, the hero, shutting down play after play that Leviathan have gone for.
How has this happened? The patience from Adverso there, he's just holding in case he could find a second player. I do respect it, a bit of discipline. It's again, a risky play. Elsa now left in an impossible task, isn't it?
It seems like too much, especially with Def hanging around next to Market. Any weapon that he could have got there would have also been good. But it's XSET that get up to double digits and are now 3 rounds away from progressing, from killing the narrative.
You are divided.
Look how good this trade is, though. Zekken comes in and kills King, and Cryo is already, even though we're only seeing the back of Zekken's head, Cryo's head, as he gets punished, Cryo ran in with the knives and got a kill. So they actually end up going 2 for 2 there, despite how good it looked from Leviathan's point of view.
The tale of this series has been, honestly, I mean, Leviathan have made it, you know, close at times, winning out these pistol rounds. Occasionally coming up with the goods, but XSET have just been that one step ahead, the layers to their play, and sometimes you got to disrupt it. Takolia taking a swing out straight into Cat. Not much to support him. Couple of shock darts on top of it right at the choke point. The players are dropping like flies.
What a thrifty round this would be. Immediately after winning a crucial economic swing round, they pull this one out.
I mean, this is Leviathan, isn't it? That's what you can expect with this team. Able to find those moments.
They're scrappy. They never give up. And they're willing to take the risks as well. I think that's part of it. Taco pushing all the way out into tiles. Or, you know, Upcat to look towards tiles. Past the turret, too. And Melzer and Adverso continue to craft some interesting setups and ways of making this triple initiator comp work.
Yeah. A little jump peek there from Adverso just to get information. Knows that Cryo's there. Obviously, that's why he's using the drone. But with this little time left in the round, XSET doesn't really want to go for something here. Maybe confidence is running high, but honestly, the percentage play might just be to save these weapons and move into the next.
Yeah, it's definitely the best idea to go for a save. A couple of their players are running low on credits. And it looks like Def is just holding this.
Oh, wait. I mean, hello? The Hunter's Fury going to be used at this point?
10 seconds left.
Adverso uses Hunter's Fury?
I mean, I am just perplexed at this.
Was that a fat finger?
Possibly intentional, I'm not too sure. Trying to follow up, trying to remove these guns. Listen, can't think about it. Not just yet, but the spray down from Def. He will eventually fall, but not before doing a bit of damage. At the end of the day, Josh, though, it's still good to buy.
Yeah. The damage wasn't actually that important there from Def towards the end. He was just trying to keep his own gun alive. Because XSET now have a very weird situation. I mean, we're seeing Adverso getting the kills in this round. I'm interested to know what was going on with the Hunter's Fury. Did they really think that Cryo and Def were still a threat in the 2v4 there, perhaps?
I mean,
but then,
either a threat or knew that they were trying to save in that location. The knife did spot them.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a play to try and clear them out of the angles and take the guns away. They went for it.
But perhaps just some nerves coming into things as well, as Leviatan are facing elimination if 3 rounds go the way of XSET. But they've done such a phenomenal job just there of pushing them in A main, denying the guns, and pushing XSET down onto their own Thrifty.
Eyes on Taco here, but again, you're finding a similar tale, a split. Look at the utility that's being used to just push him out of those angles. I mean, the smoke as well, all of it, to make sure that he just can't hold the common angles that he wants to.
Def loves holding these positions with a Marshal, but King's going to make him pay for it.
Honestly, for Leviatan, assuming that they play smart here, play to minimize the risks, they should be walking away with a round on the board once more.
Absolutely. They've looked solid in these kind of situations. They only ran into, you know, one of the big Thrifties in round 2 of Split, where XSET were able to bunch up and trade out effectively, but playing very spread right now, just roaming around the map looking for picks, looking for lurks, and maybe looking for a timing like this.
Heard it. Piece of chase right around the back. He's got the Spectre in hand. Is enough, even at that range.
Can they swarm the Biancas here?
The players might be feeling the pressure. Shy's fallen. Adverso, he's got to do some work. He's got to shut it down with the rifle. The players, they doubled up onto it. He does take down 2 of them, but now the spike. Starting to get planted. Down into the 2v2. The sidestep the damage. King is just fallen.
He's running ahead of Melzer as well. And now the task again for Melzer. He's good for 1.
Finding it still with the rifle, the lockdown. He has to break this. Now the pressure, the time on him. He comes up with it. All the way down to the wire, Josh. It's never easy, is it?
Leviatan do not want to make it simple for themselves, but Melzer has been so solid, so consistent. These big rounds he is continuously coming up with. But Leviatan looking a little sloppy there to even put it into a 1v2 scenario. Adverso and Shy did get overwhelmed trying to anchor. I mean, Adverso does well to get 2, honestly. Shy maybe not quite realizing how threatening it was.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of sync, but...
And then King running in ahead of Melzer, leaving Melzer
Josh,
to
I ain't gonna be fussy. I ain't gonna be fussy. 1 round at a time. That's what the Leviatan players are probably gonna be thinking.
Yeah,
1 round at a time. Try and keep it close.
And you're right, Brendan. It doesn't really matter where they come from, as long as they keep getting put up on the board. Within 1. This map, within 1 round now, as XSET, a narrow margin, 10-9 in the lead. They are going to have rifles back in their hands. It's a big ultimate as well, Def, with the null command. But Leviatan have got a lot of tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah.
They're not scared to go for aggressive looks with Takalia. They've got set plays with Adverso's Odin, going for some kind of tiles crunch with a mad seize lineup. This team's got some stuff in their back pocket when it comes to Ascent.
How many more set plays, though, could they possibly pull out? It's been enough to bring them back into this one. I mean, if you just look at that round history, one way, that way, still the bye rounds. I'm pretty even so far in the second half.
There is a theoretical advantage here for XSET, though. With how much Leviatan rely on their utility, this triple initiator comp, having an command to get in and onto the site is a huge, huge advantage for Def to work with. The question is whether he can maximize it and turn it into a round win.
The risk that Takalea has taken once more. Swings out to the top or mid.
Didn't break the turret, though.
No, he learns it's there. Team's gathering him his information.
Yeah.
A rotation by XSET all the way now.
And I like that. Taco grabs the info that the turret is there. Ulting in with the spike already? No, onto Catwalk. Bizarre.
Yeah, straight up on top of the box, I think, trying to gather
Yeah.
information just in case Takalea is still posted.
Force the rendezvous out of Takolea, who's now into a more passive position. It's a 4v5 for XSET. Looked a little rough in these kind of situations, but like I said, Def's ultimate should be a monstrous advantage for them to get into a post plan. BCJ's miles away with the spike. There's no chance they're going for the site hit.
It's just a fake, I think.
A
The spike's leaning over towards A. Yeah,
With
no
a
command for a no command. It's popped off either side.
But Def is a pulsing beacon letting them know that this is
There's
a
no
hit
space.
into A.
I mean, there's no space being gained
30
ahead of time
seconds left.
for this A fake, this lurk to come through. Aaron has managed to catch this timing. I mean, he's been handed a miracle. It's a little bit all over the place. It's a little bit scrappy. Chaos in the situation. And either side could really find the advantage. Either side could thrive right now. Nanoswarm up top now to Nightfall. Dropped across, just an attempt to deny the spike being planted. The Hordes, it's lit them up. Shy's brought it down to the 1v1 and still not being planted. Sees off to the back, does it latch onto him? Is the position going to be known over the top? Cryo, not a clue in the world. And Shy finds it.
With another gorgeous retake clutch, Leviatan come out and tie things up 10-10. Shy in a similar situation to Melza going and picking up the operator after doing it all, after King runs in, arguably a little too early. But that round was madness.
It was pure
absolute
madness.
I mean, the fact that Aaron gets such a good lurk timing is spectacular, actually. Maybe that's what the whole round was designed to do.
What a play by Shy. What a play by Shy towards the end.
Yeah.
No sound cues for any of the players.
This
Turns the fire, the Haunt doesn't get broken, and the Seize as well cuts all noise cues once more. It's a Nightfall, even if the Nightfall does fade off at that point, Cryo has not a clue as to where he's coming from.
That is one of the nastiest fade clutches I've ever seen. Shy playing that masterfully. This is one of the youngest players we have at the event. Only just turned 17 and he's doing that.
On the big stage, in an elimination game.
No problem.
Get broken now, a Prowler, Shy is where players are following up off of this, an exchange of fire, and already a dash through. Cryo though doesn't know what's happening. Shock Dart to try and shut down the approach through the choke point, but it is going to be the 1-for-1. It's all going to be broken down now with the Cosmic Divide in play. Shy still at the back corner of the site, and it is an approach over his head!
What?
Oh my goodness! Aaron couldn't get down onto it, but still it is traded. Fragment, damage done, Def has to dodge. He has to sidestep and he has to move out the way.
Zekon is in the power position right now at B main with the spike planted. He could be the hero here for XSET.
So the positioning, a slight whiff, but now it is known. Second grabs one, brings it to the 2v2. Dart getting broken, but now the stun in play, enough to potentially swing and capitalize. Nobody wants to make the play though. Time is ticking down, and he swings again. And they know exactly where Melza is. A tap of the spike might be able to force the 1v1, but Cryo, once more, whips it around and a head is found.
And if you want to win these rounds for XSET, leave it down to the two young guns. Cryo and XSET deliver them through once more. Zekon with an awesome position. Great first kill. And throwing out one shock dart and then a recon just coming online. That bought him enough time to survive again. What on earth was going on there, though? Aaron steps through the Cosmic Divide, throws down an alarm bot into backside, and it's just sat on top of Shy's head.
Look at him. Hands
They're
on
like,
the
what?
keyboard.
What happened there?
Don't worry about it, guys. Got the round, apparently.
Things are getting crazy here. in the final few rounds, potentially,
And I
of
think
this
it
match,
speaks-
unless Leviatan can pull things back.
Exactly. It speaks volumes, I think, of the pressure that both of these teams are under. Leviatan just trying to edge their way back into the series, bring it to that map number 3. The hopes and dreams, the mantle of that on their shoulders in terms of representing South America.
And both of these teams are not known as the best teams from each region. You think LATAM, you think Crew. You think North America, you think Optic. But these are the #1 seeds. And in some sense, they're playing to dismiss that imposter syndrome that comes along with being the unexpected top dog from a region. And they're both going tooth and nail here on Ascent. Little flash of a technical pause,
Gave
but
me
we
a
are,
heart attack.
we are back in the game. We are back in the game. And XSET, my word, Leviatan have chosen not to force into this one.
Wow,
And they are,
What a decision.
in theory, allowing XSET to get to match point. They've been able to create some magic on the Thrifty rounds before, though, and here it is again.
It's another
Triple
triple
push.
push with the drone. They've done this one before. Ready and waiting for it. Hunter's Fury locked up, but Cryo is still there. Watching it with the rifle. Guarding the rest of his team, and second he decides, okay, time for me to pop one off. Gets the one tag, gets the second one. Perfect accuracy in terms of the prediction of where Takalea was going to be found. Only 2 of them left standing now. Leviatan with not many options left.
And XSET can feel this series in their hands right now. Not allowing that Thrifty to get dangerous in the slightest. Cryo playing out of his mind. Hey, if we had the conversation at the beginning of the day, who was going to have the bigger performances, Cryo, Taco? You've seen awesome stuff from Taco on Ascent so far in the tournament. But today it's all been Cryo cells.
This guy, I mean, he's really dissuaded, I think, all questions about his performance, him being a younger player. During the regional finals and the playoffs themselves, Cryo's been putting up amazing numbers, and he's carried this forwards now into LAN.
It's going to be the tiles crunch again, but there's no one home. Leviatan with their set play doesn't see a thing. Not a single point of damage done for all of that utility.
And the playbook is running low, isn't it, for Leviatan?
It does seem that way.
They rely on risk sometimes, they rely on the set plays, but they are struggling to come up with answers. This is the round that they need to convert.
Even Wine, the spot that's been working so well for Leviatan, as Melzer and Taco have had big moments there, cleared with a recon dart. And XSET may wait for that piece of utility to come back online before they go for the sight hit.
Time in the round. Leviatan with the angles.
If XSET continue to make noise over towards A, like this 0 point, like this lockdown, Taco's gonna peek into Cryo.
Surely this sells it, surely it does. Takalea. Oh, he's pushed all the way up, he's suppressed as well. Will not be able to use that rendezvous to escape. The drone, it tags him. He has to dodge and juke and avoid it once more, but shy and then off. Angle, a slight angle. The reset of the aim, and he's got 2, and enough time has been bought. That's Takalea getting back to safety. Rendezvous's back, Nightfall now. Dashed across the site, trying to shut this one down, but Aaron once more trying to salvage it. It's a 2v3. Cryo and second still there. The rotation once more. Time is so low. Only 18 seconds left in the round, but the spike is leaning towards A.
Can the young blood convert again for XSET? Zekken
10 seconds left.
planting the spike, leaves Cryo, and he gets the kill onto Takalea. This duo has just been superb for XSET, and Melzer's left to deal with both of them.
Match point for XSET. Melzer for his team's life in this tournament. Elimination. The chances, he has to secure it. The first kill is found, and surely he knows. Sticking to the fuse, half gonna be gained. Cryo hopping around the corner. The dash enabled. It's like Tappy knows he's not dead. The up trap moving forwards. What is that? You've got to be kidding me. Melzer keeping them in it.
How many clutches has Melzer had in this series? It just feels like he can't lose them. Against the 2 top performing players on XSET. He takes out one, finding a gorgeous timing on Zekken.
10 seconds
Barreling
left.
through the door,
Oh, it's cold,
Enemy
man.
remaining.
and then just whips a
And look
classic
at this.
right click.
One enemy
Zekken
remaining.
was completely unaware. He did not expect Melzer to be running through the door as he broke. And that ice cold from Melzer, not even a reaction. He knows there's still more work to be done. 1 round needed to get to OT.
Job's not finished. have to be keeping themselves in this one now. But XSET gathered up, grouped up, 5 of them in Gelato. Revealed by the knife, they're going to be backing away now.
And I think Leviatan have got a read on this. They started out grouped towards A, and are now starting
Prowler
to lean
pushes Tacolia into
B.
an angle.
Yeah, Taco's very aggressive here with the tour de force.
He could shut this down just by himself.
Teleport's ready.
He
XSET
knows,
just forget if they don't use the utility to clear it.
but they have been diligent with utility so far. Dev,
Not this time, though. It's a crouch peek. Def, that's how he's going to clear it to Tacolia. Of course he capitalizes. Drone taken out, teleports away, respecting it enough.
what a mistake from the attacking IGL from XSET. They've been so diligent, always using the drone to clear out B main in those kind of situations, and Def just walks in front of it. That's another first death for Def.
XSET scrambling a little bit for answers. Making her way through into mid. King, he's got it. The off angle playing in the corner with Cryer removed. What answers are there for XSET? Leviatan are on the cusp of bringing this one to OT.
They're just so good in these comeback
30
moments,
seconds
man.
left.
They bring out absurd clutches. Shy's ready for it as well.
Do you? Slight angle. BCJ will run and gun a bit there with a Spectre in play, but only 20 seconds left. Still the angle. Tacolia is able now to anchor it. They know where this is landing. Averse is going to try and help and supplement it with a dart in play. A paranoia even to push them back, but the pull, it stops them in their tracks. BCJ moves forward. Still the spike will need to go down. Tacolia has to find the kill. The spike, it's planted. King misses the flash. It's all the nerves on play, on show to stay in the match. BCJ, nerves of steel. 49 health. The smoke, you can feel it. Wants to make the play, wants to push through it, but they settle it. The nerves for but a moment. A 2v2 onto lane, smoke hooked up right around the side. BCJ will fall, and the fight is found and won. Melzer comes up with it.
It's just Melzer again. It's just been insane for them. And Leviatan proving that they are a comeback team, that they can make these moments happen. That's 2 match points for XSET that they've let slip away. You're right, Bren. I can see the nerves, but I can see the people making huge game-winning plays as well. Melzer's been so cold.
What a player. What a player. Outstanding resilience being shown by Leviatan to be able to bring this back from the brink.
And it feels like Leviatan have done so much just to get back into this map, which is probably their best chance of getting one in the series. And they don't win the series if they win it here. It's just for survival.
Purely for survival. The chance of securing that spot, the champion placement.
And we're going to see Leviatan going back over to the attack half. They only managed 4 rounds in regulation. Same could be said of both teams. Cryo is just demonic.
What disrespect being shown, though.
It's exactly what you have to do against these triple initiator comps as the Jet. Oh, here's Melzer again. Always good for it.
Yeah, he's found it. Traded, though.
And another
The
punish
upside of
onto
the map.
Def.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite a trade, but a kill nevertheless. Spikes drop down on top cap. No real movement being made, but still an attempt is there. Obviously, Cryer's gone in with a glass cannon approach, no armor to him, so that could have got particularly dangerous.
And they're going to have to play A for retake right now because there's no one watching mid apart from Cryo. And he's good for it. Shuts down that lurk from Shy.
That's ice cold again.
A great read, but they do not know the timing of Taco. That recon dart, letting him slip into Boathouse. Taco could be everything here for Leviatan.
I mean, a kill could be found, of course, but he's still in with his crossfire.
One
He seems to just know. I mean, Aaron's got a
30
crosser
seconds
placement
left.
for it.
Yeah, I thought they might have taken their foot off the gas just a little bit there, expecting the recon dart to give them a blanket of security. But Melzer left alone, and how many times have we said this? Melzer in a 1v4 now, with 10 seconds. These are not
Double up approach.
as
yeah.
good as Melzer is. You can't ask him to do that. There are limits.
Switching sides.
Facing down defeat. Like I said again, 1 round away from being able to close out this series, move forwards in that lower bracket.
But they've already let slip 2 match points. Leviatan have been very clutch in those moments. This time they take a timeout. A moment to breathe.
That's what you need sometimes.
There's a chance for Batoni, the coach, to have his input as well. See if they can craft something. They're going to be on the defense side here. They were great. I mean, they got pushed to the limit, but they always came up with the goods.
Now they're going to find more answers. When it gets to these overtime scenarios, when it gets to this point in a series, in a match as well, a lot of these set plays that you might have cooked up, you know, the playbook, you're tossing it out the window. A lot of what's happening, you can feel the energy of a lot of these players, the XSET guys as well, taking it in a stride.
Yeah, looking confident here, I would say,
they are.
from the XSET players. Despite the fact that they've let this one go to overtime, Zekken leaning back in his chair, a slight smile on Psycho's face. They feel like they're in control. They have, of course, been in many winning scenarios. They just haven't been able to close them out every time. Let's see what the game plan is right now.
Has to be something big. Either a player going huge, and once again a risk being taken. It's a glass cannon operator, Takolia just holding down the angle into mid, and he's rewarded.
Zekken putting too much faith in that recon dart, thinking that it would cover the position that Tako was wanting to play into.
And Josh, mistakes like that, they do tend to pile up, don't they, when you get into these OT situations.
You're also just not expecting Tako to take risks like that. The tournament life on the line.
Fast play and approach now into it for Wine. It's a half clear. Aaron just not quite there. The players still moving in. XSET want to try and get themselves into the site. Get sorted, but they are surrounded on every single side. How the hell are the players even going to be able to get this spike down? Leviatan in control of multiple angles of smoke, blocking the side of it. Crowd gets the one. Utility being used to try and clear them through. Still, they have that player advantage. One in play. Def just needs to hold on and buy space for the rest of his team. You have got to be kidding me! Flicking around Cryo, the reaction times. How is he still doing this much damage? How is he doing this much work? Still alive, still in action, but the players are so low. Def's being pushed back. Cryo's on top of it as well, but now removed from the fight. The fuse being stuck, and Def, he's deafened the entire time. He didn't know the position was removed. He doesn't know the reposition was there. And Leviatan bring it now to another round of OT.
Not only is that another 2v2 clutch, but that is a fantastic lesson in how to be confident, aggressive, and take risks even when your life's on the line. It's not just Tako that goes for the peak up towards top mid, but you had Melzer in Wine as well. Two risky positions, two plays that could have sent Leviatan home.
Yep.
And instead, they're the plays that throw XSET off and put them in a horribly uncomfortable post plan. And it's straight back to 13-13.
That's what happens when you're in this situation when it's OT. Both sides start to take those risks more and more. Mistakes start to get made off of it. But now it's a fast play once more. The B split. This is working for Leviatan on their attack side. But how did they get through this one? The Nano Swarm has done so much work. So much damage for the spray down that Zekken's able to claim. And it has to be a pivot, surely. It has to be a rethink of the strategy, the approach into this.
Cryo with an operator just watching the exit out through market. And I think Leviatan might be committed here to go for the push. Melzer would be the play to spring out through his smoke perhaps and try and catch timing. There are multiple XSET players in spawn, but Leviatan have thoroughly pumped the brakes.
Just about missed that one when the smoke dropped down. It's an unusual one. Door going to be closed by Takolia.
Just faking the fact that not everybody's left market perhaps.
I mean, a bit of a spam. I think maybe just trying to force fights possibly as they...
And allow Shy potentially to get an uncontested exit. I think they were worried about the lane angle when they left market there.
30 seconds left.
And it's going to be asked of Cryo once more here. It is a player advantage for XSET, but not on the site.
He's got to find his target, but Leviatan. They can feel it within their grasp. Still, that does not help them. Spike's still going to be dropped. So surely the plan is going to get off now into the post-plan scenario. Cryo oversteps himself. Once more. Thinks he has to be the playmaker. Re-swinging out, but the shots will just go in too wide.
So many players there to apply pressure to Cryo's cells as well. I think he did a good job considering the circumstances. And XSET, they're in a 3v2 without any good utility to work with. a dry fight on both sides.
Really coming online for them. The knife, though, dropped down out of the turret as well to take the angle. It's traded all down to Melzer. He's been good for it, finds the first. Is the trade going to be there? What is that? He's been so consistent the entire time. Melzer pulling them back from the brink. The unthinkable scenarios that he's placed in, yet every single time he comes up with the goods with consistency.
What a moment that Melzer's found here. In this whole series, he has been the player to deliver. And what a stage to make your name as one of the nastiest big moment clutchers we've had in Copenhagen. The rest of his team can barely believe it, but it's Leviatan now who are on match point.
All the way. One more round will do it. It'll keep them in the series. It'll keep them in the fight.
And XSET, I'm sure they've gone from feeling confident and like the game was in their hands to feeling it slip away. Is this where they have the mental resilience to hold on?
Pull off the back of that one. Takali has got the angle watched down, and the vulnerability surely sets them up for it. It does indeed. Damage has been done more than that. Only 2 players left standing now for them. And a spam to decided to smoke the prediction of the angle. Leviatan, outstanding resilience over the course of the series. All left down to Zekken. But it's just too much for him to overcome, and they bring it all the way.